you get someone to buy your album for $1,000? I'm so excited to be here with my client, Coco Peila, songwriting coach, multi-hyphenate hip-hop artist, and producer, to increase her income so that that genius gets her very, 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 very well paid.
There is a limited edition album package for my next album. I sold 6 of those.
Yes.
$1,000 for each versus $1,100 for 6 years of streaming.
No wonder we're broke as artists.
How do I go all in on my music and stay all in?
$6,000 is only the first 6. But we're actually talking about $1 million offer. So fuck it, let's go all in on your music. The business model is screaming off the page. That amount of marketing all at one time, like such a big push.
Yeah.
I feel like my business was eating off of that for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you want to do every day.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the Hello 7 podcast. That's 7 as in 7 figures. I'm your host, Rachel Rogers.
Welcome back to the Hello 7 podcast. Today we have a fabulous coaching episode, and I'm so excited to be here with my client, Coco Peila. And let me tell you about Coco, okay? So you can put some respect on it, all right? So Coco Peila's groundbreaking work as a songwriting coach, multi-hyphenate hip-hop artist, and producer has earned her acclaim from prestigious institutions and media outlets worldwide. Her artistry has been highlighted by the Kennedy Center, Stanford University, Yale University, The New Yorker, Bust Magazine, International Museum of Women, Museum of the African Diaspora, Elton John's Rocket Hour, the Deaf Professor, co-founder of Harvard University's Hip Hop Archive and Research Initiative. Davey V has recognized her as an artist to watch, underscoring her cultural impact and undeniable talent. Coco has worked with Grammy Award-winning producers and has shared the stage with iconic artists, too many to name, okay? She is a master cultural strategist, wielding hip-hop as a weapon for joy, resistance, and power. Come on, Coco, okay? She has taught hip-hop and songwriting at UC Berkeley and San Francisco State University. She was chosen by Movement Generation, New Economy Coalition, and Climate Justice Alliance to write and produce a hip-hop and climate justice EP, and was selected by the Women's Earth Alliance as part of their U.S. Women Environmental Leaders cohort for her visionary work as the director of hip-hop and climate justice at Youth versus Apocalypse. So she just has created a legacy of excellence when it comes to hip-hop, songwriting, activism. That intersection is where her genius lives. What I'm going to talk to Coco about today is how to increase her income so that that genius gets her very, 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 very well paid. Welcome, Coco. Welcome to the Hello 7 podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm delighted you're here.
Girl, I'm delighted to be here. For real.
I'm so excited. Okay, so how did you wind up in hip hop? Tell me, like, where did that even come from?
I mean, for a lot of us, it's just it's the soundtrack to our lives.
For real.
Like, I remember organizing my homegirls where I lived when we moved to Hawaii. I was like maybe 8 and I had a Salt and Pepper cassette. You know, like it was just there as the background. But I think, I moved to LA when 98, when I was 11, and my pops was like, okay, let me put you up on like that good stuff. And he gave me 2 CDs at that time. It was Buju Banton, Inner Heights, and The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And I was just like, both what classics. Is it? Right. And I remember he wasn't like, this is hip hop. He was just like, this is a heavy sister. This is a heavy sister. And I was like, okay. And of course she was so far beyond, like, ahead of her time that people weren't even necessarily able to wrap their minds around this Black woman rapping, singing, rapping about spirituality and life and, you know, systems of oppression. So anyway, I would say that it's always been there as a soundtrack, but that's when I began writing my own songs and
at 11.
Rhymes. Yeah, I got my first journal at 11, my auntie Kalila. She gave me this little lavender journal for Easter, and it was off to the races pretty much.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's fast forward to now. So what are you doing now? Like, what's the main offer in your business? And tell me, like, what parts of your business right now feel like a struggle or not working for you?
Okay, so you're going to hear it just in this. But so now I am just focused on being the music midwife.
Yes.
So helping world-class recording artists birth their most precious, purpose-driven songs and creating music that moves the culture forward. So the VIP day is about to be the main offer, but I haven't sold it yet, right? There is the limited edition album package for my next album, Trigger Warning, Confessions of a Black Feminist Rapper. It's International Women's Day. So I sold 6 of those, $1,000 for each. And it's been incredible to see that, like, quality over quantity, less is more. So 6 albums at $1,000 each is $6,000 versus $1,100 for 6 years of streaming, 350,000 streams. And I did the like nitty gritty, like, okay, how much are they really paying me for these streams? And I think the lowest one was like 0.000009 of 1 penny. Yes. And I'm like, no wonder we're broke as fuck as artists.
Yes.
Because like, what is 0.000009 of a penny? Like, what is that? Can you even wrap your mind? I don't.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like $1 billion is hard to wrap your mind around. And then when you get so small that it's such a small portion of a penny, it's kind of like, how many of those do I need to add up to actually get paid? So I love that you are creating new creative ways because, right, like we're always in control of our own financial situation. So it's like, okay, that's the common way, or that's the way that's taught to us, right? Like this is how people buy music. But there are other ways as well. And so tell us a little bit about this package, because I think it's amazing. I saw it on your website, so I'm so excited about it. So tell everybody more about it so other artists who might want to do something similar can understand like what you put together.
Okay, so
basically, how do you get someone to buy your album for $1,000 instead of $10? You know what I mean? Or whatever people think it should be, or what's common, right? So, okay, break it down.
Okay, so it's gonna come. There's some things that I can't tell y'all because I gotta surprise and delight y'all. Okay, that's what Hello 7 taught me.
Yes. Okay, but so there's some secret bonuses.
It's some secret bonuses. And you might drag me for how much I put in the package, but let's see. Let's see what happens.
I already know that I am going to because I saw it. But go ahead, keep going.
Okay, so there is an autographed vinyl record.
Okay.
There is a digital download code because I know, you can't necessarily bring a record player with you wherever you go. There's a ticket. I have 10 secret location concerts that are going to happen in 2026. Awesome. And so they get a ticket and they get to decide whichever one they want to go to. Right. They could just pull up. There's a rhyme book. So it'll have like all the lyrics to each song and then space for folks to reflect. They can journal.
Wow.
They can. Coach Kiera said this thing that was so brilliant. She said, it's kind of like remixing. Like they take your song and they remix. I was like, oh my God, you're so brilliant. So there's space for them. There's like a little writing prompt and they can take it in whatever direction. You want to write poetry, you want to write a song, you want to just journal because
I love this.
Thank you. Trigger warning is like me telling my story, my inner child story, my childhood story. And I know that going back through that is going to bring up people's own memories,
stuff.
Their stuff, right? So it's like, this is a conversation. That's what hip hop is. It's a conversation. It's a call and response. So this is not just about you passively absorbing my story. This is about, okay, let me tell you my story. And now what's your story? What do you think? Let me pass the mic to you. So it's interactive. So there's that custom lyric book. And then it's so many things I can't remember. This is only for the first 100 people. There's a VIP pass to a cozy Q&A with me. And I haven't announced it yet, but I'll tell you here.
Okay.
And the lovely listeners out there that I want to have like a small group songwriting coaching session with folks who attend the VIP day.
Okay.
So they come, we chill after the show, and then we do just like a little bit of songwriting coaching so they can get a taste. Is there anything else? Am I tripping? I think that's it.
I hope not.
And it took me so much not to throw more things in. But yeah, so that's what it comes with. Even honestly, the first 10 people I offered like a bonus, and like 6 people in, I was like, I just gave too much shit.
Yes.
Because I was noticing too, like all this time and energy going into, basically I offered them a pick my brain, pop your shit session with me, which is $2,500 for a 90-minute session.
Yes.
But like, what is the word? Complimentary.
Right.
And they're amazing and I love doing it. And it's in my zone of genius. It's the same thing I do with like songwriting coaching, but it's for anyone, like just let's bust through whatever creative block, whatever entrepreneurial block. And I loved it because this is what I love to do. But it's like, instead of selling,
getting paid fully for it. So.
And I'm also not working on selling the album, and I'm not working on selling the VIP day.
Yes.
So I just could see that it's not really sustainable because I love throwing in bonuses, but then it's also like, well, but y'all paid for this album. So I'm here with you. And then I'm going back through the notes and listening to the recordings and making sure that, my personal assistant follows up with you. I should be in the studio tracking this album for you.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's one of the lessons, right? It's like, sometimes we're like, well, I raised my prices, but if you throw everything but the kitchen sink in, you didn't raise your price.
No.
You just basically created a bigger thing that you're selling. And now the price is probably still too small. You know what I'm saying?
Actually.
When that happened. So for sure, I would definitely pull that out. Maybe you already did.
Yep.
So like, lucky for the first 6.
Yep.
It's over now.
Yep.
But I love this package of, like they get a concert ticket, they get the vinyl record, they get the digital record, this rhyme book journal with prompts. I love that. That's so dope. And then the VIP pass to like a cozy Q&A. What I would probably do is maybe those concerts, like add the Q&A afterwards. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So just like tack it on to just make it more efficient. And the small group songwriting coaching session, I kind of like that idea, and that I want to go back to this.
Okay.
But I like adding that in. So the goal is to sell how many of this offer?
1,000.
Okay. Awesome.
1,000 out of 1,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. Amazing. So tell me the other offers that you have. So you mentioned this $2,500, like basically consulting session, songwriting coaching session. Tell me about that.
Well, pick my brain, pop your shit is just a pick my brain offer. People are always, okay, with our work in Hello 7, at Hello 7, it's like, you're always asking us, and the coaches are always asking us, like, what's the thing that all your friends, your family members, your coworkers, somebody random on the street walking their dog wants to hit you up for? And people are always like, yo, can I pick your brain for a second? I'm stuck in this spot, Right. And then, so it's a coaching session.
Right.
That though, I don't publicly promote it. It's an invite only offer.
Why?
Well, because I don't want people to keep picking my brain and making hella money off of a small offer that a musician, an artist, and I've never worked with anybody who isn't an artist, but they're musicians, artists, and creative entrepreneurs. So they're just like, okay, I have this big vision. But I'm stuck on this part. I'm stuck on that part. Like, how do I
get past it?
And how do I pull it together into a package?
Okay.
And I love it, but it's not, I want to be making music 24/7 and coaching my clients to write, their most purpose-driven songs. And I love to support people, but I think
you feel like these people are not going to be clients of your other main offer.
Well, some of them actually have
become
clients for the album. Has happened.
So I guess what I'm trying to to me, this seems like
Related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, okay, does it need to have a specific theme or result or goal? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it needs to be a group thing rather than a one-on-one thing. Like, I'm just like, is there something there? But we could put a pin in that. I want to get a sense of your, like, all of the offers that you have out there right now. And then just understand how they're talking to each other so we can just look at the whole business model. We've officially rescheduled ROI The Millionaire Summit 2025. Join me, Hello 7, and hundreds of your newest business besties in Huntington Beach, California from June 17th through the 19th for 3 days of high-impact, high-caliber fun. Let me tell you why ROI The Millionaire Summit is happening at the perfect time. June is the ultimate mid-year reset. It's your chance to pause, reflect, and redirect your energy for the months ahead. By the time the summer rolls around, you've had 6 months of wins, lessons, and challenges. That makes June the moment to evaluate what's working and ditch what's not, and pivot for even bigger success in the second half of the year. I'm so excited to invite you to ROI 2025 this summer to reconnect with your vision and take $1 million action with me. Come to dream bigger, move boldly, and reconnect with your purpose. So if you're ready to realign with your vision, sharpen your strategy, and set yourself up for massive wins, ROI is where you need to be. Head to hello7.co/ROI to grab your ticket. What other offers are you selling?
So I don't want to say I'm always available, but people book me for live performances and speaking gigs.
Okay.
I'm not promoting it. Sometimes I will post like clips of me performing. Also, though, when you coached me, you had me double and then double again. A lot of people who used to book me a lot were like, oh, okay, we can't do that. So I've been kind of like, okay, fine, that's cool. But now the gigs are fewer and further between because it's 20 G's and that's not.
What did it used to be?
I mean, in the beginning, or like when I came to you and Hello 7.
Well, what have people paid? What's the highest you've been paid for a performance or speaking gig?
$3,000.
Okay. And is it worth it to you at that price?
When I'm promoting the album, I think if I'm already like wanting to move around the country or a portion of the country, sure, like because there's other things that I can do, like if I'm going
because it's basically you're getting paid to market.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So okay, and then speaking gigs, is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Around the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So here's the thing: when you raise your prices, you also have to raise your marketing. You know what I'm saying? So like when you raise the price, you also have to increase the amount of marketing that's happening for that thing. So you were saying like sometimes I post clips of performances.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you want to do every day.
Oh my God.
Literally every day.
I hate social media, Rachel.
I know.
I know.
But it's like, if it's not social media, maybe it's something else. But like, how are you going to get, like, what is your touch point with the people who can hire you on a regular basis? So I don't think it's about the price. I mean, yes, you have those contacts and they got comfortable underpaying you.
Yeah.
So of course they don't want to get comfortable paying you the right price, right? And they're hoping that if they push back that you'll be like, no, you know, I mean,
which I'm not.
Say, yes, I'll just take that price. And so that doesn't mean that was right either, right?
Yeah.
Like people love to underpay us, right? That's what they love to do. So however, if you want to get new clients who are comfortable with this new price, you have to actively, because you've said a couple of times, I'm not actively marketing that. I'm not actively marketing this. So I'm just taking it all in.
No, be my mirror. I'm down. This is what I came for.
Yes. So I don't think it's the price. I think $20,000 for a performance or $20,000 for a speaking gig is very reasonable, very standard, especially when you look at your resume and all that you have done. Getting paid $20K for a speaking gig is like completely and utterly reasonable. And I guarantee you there are organizations that will pay you that. However, you got to be in front of them.
Yep.
You know? So, and you know, you could get an agent for the speaking. You could get an agent for the performances also. Yeah. But also like making sure that people know you exist and that you have an offer available is one of the most important parts of business, right? Like, yes. Otherwise you're the best kept secret. And so it's like those who know, and everyone else doesn't.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And if you really think about your network, who you're connected to, the people who know about you, if you were actively speaking to them and reminding them that you're here on a regular basis, you'd be making a lot of money. Yeah. So it's like literally it's just you out, basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Outreach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's really all it takes. And it could be on social media or it could be in some other way, but like it has to be happening in one way or another. Yeah. Because otherwise, no matter who we are, people forget.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So this is why, so like, people would be like, oh, they think someone who is a successful entrepreneur, it's like, oh, all your launches must be amazing. No, even successful entrepreneurs that have been around forever, that have like post every day, that have a large audience. If you stop talking to people, people will stop buying immediately. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I shouldn't say immediately. It's a lagging indicator. So like you stop marketing and then a couple months later, you're like, why is nobody buying anymore? Right. And you don't realize it's because you stopped that because the activity that you had was enough of a push to keep them coming for now. Yeah. But they're going to start to drop off if the marketing goes down. Mm-hmm. So like the marketing is a very important piece. And for you, it should be easy. You have all these performances you've done over the years and all of these speaking gigs. You literally could break that up into clips. There's this app called Opus. It's an AI app, and you just put your videos in there, and it will break it into clips for you. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so then you take these small clips. Literally, you can get 30, 40, 50 clips from one video. Wow. And then you just schedule them out, right? So it's like, it doesn't have to be that hard. It's always about creating a system. Like if you don't have a system for doing it, it's not going to happen. If it can't be just brute force or I have to get up every day and come up with an idea to post on social media. No, it has to be a system to make it easy, Mm-hmm. Okay. So any other offers?
Well, so can I say something?
Yes.
Okay. So part of why I'm not actively marketing these things, or at least why I'm telling myself that I'm not actively marketing them, is because I'm trying to focus. Like, when I came to LO7, I was an H3, but do you remember the first time you coached me? I was like, yeah, girl, I just launched an organization and a for-profit business, and I'm doing it, and each one has 10 offers, and I also want to give out micro grants. And
like, that was in the Make Money Moves challenge, right?
That was in the Make Money Move challenge, and you were like, miss. Okay, so like, have you ever gone all in on your music? And I was like, no. Yes. And that's been the project, is like, how do I go all in on my music and stay all in? Because I feel like having that restorative strength as like my third strength means that like I be seeing problems, and capitalism is collapsing. So I be seeing problems and I'm like, oh, okay, I could solve that in a really cool, way with hip hop or whatever the case may be. So just staying focused, keeping the main thing, but also the VIP day, that's what I want to focus on. I want my album and the VIP day. And if you want to book me, or I'm doing a tour, I want to market, cool, I'm doing performances. I don't want to do anything outside of that because I also ideate. And so this offer becomes this offer, and then this and that. And I'm like, I'm so tired of that exhaustion, feast and famine cycle. Like I was in the shower because I've been watching some of these podcasts. I'm a subscriber before I ever got invited here. Okay. I be seeing that notification like, ding. Oh shit. We gonna get the popcorn. So I was in the shower like, okay, she gonna ask me what my problem is. And finally, one of these showers, it clicked. It was like, your problem is you've been stuck in a exertion-exhaustion cycle, like constant, like just busting it out and then just falling out for however long. So part of what I'm trying to figure out is what I have chosen to do is VIP day, album. Yes. But the other thing is that when I did the numbers in the mastermind, they had me like, okay, so how much is this actually going to cost you? Yes. $260,000.
What's going to cost you $260,000?
The album package. Okay. To produce, record, produce. I have the first set of recordings, but they're not excellent enough for me. They're good, but like this first single that I just released, that's the level that I want everything to be at. So recording, producing, and manufacturing, putting together. And it's boxed. I want it to be an experience. I don't want it to be no janky shit that falls apart after they open it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the high end is $260K and the low end I think is $150.
All right.
I don't have that capital right now.
Okay.
So that's what made me pivot back to like, okay, let me focus on the VIP day for like now, and then be able to sit in my zone of genius. I already want to do this. I already want to support Black female recording artists who have like a bomb ass platform to birth this purpose-driven music. So it's already like what I love doing, but let's focus here. And then I really want the album not to be like just more of this is my offering, right? And because it's so small, just 1,000 people, I want it to be more personal.
Yes.
And I want it to be high quality. So I'm gonna generate that capital.
Right. For sure. Let's run some numbers.
Let's do it.
I like revisiting the thought process because sometimes we're just like, okay, here's where I'm at. And you make decisions and then you're like, and this is what my therapist always says to me. She's like, not why did this happen? How did this happen?
Yes.
That's what she always asks. And so it's something that I think about too, like, okay, how do we get to the decision? And then you're like, okay, the 260. Okay, so let's run some numbers. So the VIP day, the goal was like to sell 1 to cover the cost of the album. Is that what you were thinking?
Well, 2 would cover the high end of the expenses plus operation costs for the business.
Yes.
A little bit of money, not a little bit, a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money for me, putting something away for taxes, all that.
So your thinking was, I'm going to sell the songwriting coaching via a VIP day, and that's going to cover the cost of producing the album.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Which,
and that's not a bad way to think about it. I think actually is a great idea. However,
oh shit,
I see other opportunities. You could do both of those things, but you're still divided, right? Between those two things. Yeah. Now, if you didn't have, like, if you weren't doing this album package that was $1,000, I'd be like, okay, great, let's be. And I've given that advice many times to entrepreneurs who are like, maybe they want to produce a physical product of some kind, but you need capital to manufacture that physical product. And so it's like, okay, let's sell a service like coaching, consulting, whatever, because you can start selling that today because you're here. You got to manufacture. You already manufactured, right?
Exactly.
So sell your services and then use the proceeds from the services to fund the product creation, right? So that's what you were doing. However, you already have another genius idea that's already proven, which is selling this album package. You've sold 6 of them already, so you know it works.
Yeah.
So if you actually focused all your attention on selling those, you'd make $1 million from it. And then 260 would be covered and you would net the 740. So why not do that? Why not go all in on that?
Well, so that was the plan. Because remember at another Make Money Moves challenge, just a year ago, we talked about, okay, so we have the VIP day, we have the album. And I said, I want to focus on the album because I've never really focused all the way on my music. But the album sales are moving slow. And also, like, I'm not just an independent artist. I'm a CEO of a business. And there are operating costs.
For sure.
$6,000 as an independent artist, maybe even 10 years ago, you know, I'm like, oh shit, I'm balling. It's 6 racks. But right now, like.
But $6,000 is only the first 6.
I know, but.
We're actually talking about $1 million offer.
Yes, we are.
But it requires your attention. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that I agree with you, and I think you were on the right path. If you were selling a $20 album, that takes, you gotta sell a lot of them to, you know, add up to the amount that you need, this 260, right? It still can be done, but it's like, do you have the volume, the audience to be able to reach, and or do we have ad spend to reach that audience, which is another way to do it, right? But it's like, okay, so if we need to, like, it's like kind of like with books, right? If I sell a book for $20, how many of those do I need to sell to make $1 million? Right. A lot, you know, versus you're selling $1,000 offer now. So now we don't need as many.
It's true.
So this offer has changed the game.
No, it has.
And my advice. Okay. Because this is brilliant.
Thank you.
And it's working.
But I got it from the work that I was doing with y'all. Because you know how there's that, what is it called? What would you call that thing where you had like 10 this at this much equals $1 million?
Yes, the math where I just show you all the different price points for different offers.
And the first time I seen that, 1,000 at 1,000, I was like, oh my God, the album. But it took me like 2 years to just open my mouth and say it.
Yes.
And then when we talked about it, I was like, okay. But it still seemed like it was impossible. Now that I've sold 6, I'm like, oh shit, this is real.
This is very possible.
Yeah.
However,
yes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like 1,000 is still like, you sold 6. What did you do to sell those 6? Listen up. If you're tired of setting the same income goals year after year and still coming up short, it's time to change the game. You know you're meant for more, but right now your business isn't moving like it should. You've got the talent, the skills, the ambition, but your bank account isn't reflecting that. That's where the Make Money Moves Challenge comes in. For 5 days, I'm giving you the exact strategies, mindset shifts, and money-making moves that have helped me and thousands of other entrepreneurs break out of the feast or famine cycle and start stacking real wealth. No more scrambling to hit your revenue goals, and no more waiting for the perfect time to go all in. You're getting daily action steps that will have you making more money immediately. This isn't a fluffy feel-good challenge. This is about building a business that actually pays you what you deserve. So are you in? If so, join me for our next challenge. Go to hello7.co/challenge to sign up now.
Every single time I sold, except for one person, it was like I was on the phone or we were in a Zoom. Like one of them was a pick my brain, pop your shit session. And the person was like, dang sis, $2,500 for the next one. I don't know. And I was like, well, you know, the album come with the, what's the name?
Yeah.
And then she was like, what? I fuck with your music anyway. Like, let me snatch it. The one person, which I actually feel like is the ICA, is this dope ass indigenous professor at Temple University that teaches about music and social change.
Love it.
And he was like, oh, I just found your music through a collaboration with another artist. And honestly, all of those add-ins are dope, but I'm just excited about the album. I got this for myself as a gift for Christmas. So I was like, oh, you're my ICA.
Yes.
But, okay.
Now, first of all, if there was ever a time
Oh my God.
to like that, we needed a soundtrack to be
Yeah.
inspired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the state of the world and our place in it and stepping into our power in it. Like now is that time.
Yeah.
So I feel I'm kind of like team, let's go all in on selling all 1,000 of these album packages and just not shut up about it until we've sold 1,000 of them. Because I think that is the way to go. That's what, because you have always said, I want to go all in on my music.
Yes.
So fuck it. Let's go all in on your music.
I think that the part that like the glass that I'm like, keep it like dunk, dunk, like bumping my head against is like, some of those folks were people that I had hella close relationships with. So I kind of have that self-doubt.
Right. Let's email every person you have close relationships with and be like, I need you to buy this.
What if they get...
And then say, also tell your friends.
Well, I did some of that. I need to do more.
Yes.
I think, did you ever go through a period early on in entrepreneurship where you were like, are these people like fucking sick of me because I keep hollering at them about what I'm doing? And I may be projecting, but I feel like people be getting attitude when you say what you're worth. Like,
let them get an attitude.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with
me.
you.
Yeah.
What has to do with you is you have to make the asks.
Ugh.
And this is part of it. Like, this is, you know why I like this? Because entrepreneurship is a great way to develop as a person, right? It is like the biggest personal development journey you'll ever go on.
Yes.
You know? Truly. And so like the thing that prevents you from making money is usually like some limiting belief that you have to address. Right? And so you're trying to find a workaround for actually addressing the real problem, which is like your fear about fucking saying to people, yo, I'm the one to watch. You need to listen to my shit.
I'm gonna cry.
You need to hear what I have to say. Right? Like, and like, I am worthy of your attention and my music is worthy of your attention. Like, and not giving a fuck if people are like, I disagree. disagree. This is what we do. Like when we are creating something, there's always the fear of rejection.
Yeah.
There's always a possibility somebody's going to reject you for any reason.
Yeah.
And when you claim your value, what's going to happen, right? People are going to want to go back to their view of the world, which is that, no, it's worth less. And when you do that, especially even for fellow Black women or fellow women of color, it might be like, yo, you're challenging, by you claiming your price and your worth, you're challenging me to do the same, and I'm too scared to do it, so I'm going to reject that. Because I want to stay here where it's safe, and this is challenging me to grow, and I don't want to. And that's their business.
Yeah,
that is
true.
not yours. So don't let that stop you. We cannot give a shit about what other people think.
Yeah, it's just going to have to be through the process of doing it, because the fear is not, it's not going poof. It just seemed like I just have to keep like facing it.
Right. Like, because here's the thing. It's like we will try to create a plan to work around it. Like, I'm going to go around this fear, right? And it's like, no, you got to face it head on. Like,
oh my God.
Face it head on. You know what I'm saying? And don't try to create a workaround, because that stops you from actually having the growth that needs to happen, right? Like pushing past that fear. And my entire entrepreneurial journey has been every year. It's like, okay, what bullshit have I been doing now that you would like to bring to my attention? Thank you. You know? And then it's like I have to fire someone, or I have to raise my price, or I have to ask for the sale, or I have to put myself on a bigger stage, or I have to share all my stories in a book. Whatever it is, it's like I have to face that next level of that fear every year. You know what I mean? Multiple times a year in different ways. And you're just like sort of peeling away all the ways that you're hiding yourself every time you rise to the occasion and meet it head on, instead of be like, I'm going to leave that right there and I'm going to go over here, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is for you. Everybody has an individual journey. There might be somebody else who that is actually the best thing they could do is offer, right, like songwriting coaching or creativity coaching or something related to what they do as a musician, right? Like that, for somebody else, that's their right path. For you, my spidey sense says no. God. I think your right path is sell the fuck out of this album. And it's also like what you just gave me, the business model is screaming off the page, right? The business model is, because you were saying, right, like, for example, in the next couple of months, you're going to see me on a lot of podcasts and a lot of stages and a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
No, that stuff comes into my inbox every day and I say no. My publicist gets pissed at the shit that I say no to, because I'm like, I literally would rather be on the couch with my kids. Like, why am I leaving? No, I don't want to do that. And they're like, people don't say no to this. Rachel does. You know what I mean? Because I know what my priorities are. However, we're now in book selling season.
Yes.
So now I'm finna be everywhere.
Yes.
Now it's yes, I will do that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas other seasons, it's no, because that's the season where it's like, maybe when you're working on your next album, it's no during that time because you're working on this creative pursuit, right? But now it's time to promote it. We got to be outside and we got to be everywhere. So like, for example, if I got paid $3,000 for every one of the book appearances I was doing, I'd be delighted, right? I'm doing all that shit for free, right? To sell my book. And so the business model to me is doing performances, promoting the album, basically do performances and upsell them into the album. Like, right? Like you could sell you could do your own performances, sell tickets.
I'm shaking in my boot. You can't see it, but I'm...
Or... First of all, I've listened to your music and we're going to play it on this episode so that y'all can hear your music is good.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
like, you know how some people be like, let me share your album. Let me give you my album. And you'd be like, fuck.
No, Rachel, don't
They're going to ask me what I thought. And I have to pretend I liked it. Or do I tell them the truth? You know what I'm saying? Like, growing up in Queens, right? Everybody always had an album to share it to, and you'd be like,
and a mixtape.
And it wasn't always good. And honestly, it usually wasn't. Your shit is good.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
it better be good. I've been doing this shit for hella long. I'm 38.
Yes.
I got gray hairs.
So it's time.
My breasts ain't sitting the same as they once were. It better fucking be good. This has been like the priority in my life to pour into.
Yes. So make it the priority in the business.
And then just pause on the VIP date or just let it sit there.
You could let it sit there, right? And like, the thing is, here's what's going to happen. Like, I know what's going to happen when I do this book tour.
Yeah.
Or not book tour, but book, launch and this media blitz, right? That people are going to buy the book. And then also people are going to come to Hello 7 for everything else.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
As they should.
Literally, the We Shall Be Millionaires book tour, I went I don't recommend it. Well, I don't. I basically, I didn't know how to pace myself. So I went so hard that I burned myself out. But that amount of marketing all at one time, like such a big push.
Yeah.
I feel like my business was eating off of that for 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where like we literally got lazy with our marketing because we're like, we don't need to do nothing because the book is doing it. And then at some point it does dry up and you're like, oh.
Right. Let me get it.
Oh, we got lazy. Damn it. So that is my advice to you. I'm like, yo, book these performances, book media, start pushing.
My palms are sweating.
Like, how does that feel? Does that feel exciting? Does it feel scary? Like, tell me what the feelings are.
I mean, I'm terrified because I'm sure just because of early childhood trauma, not actually. This is actually thrilling, right?
Yes.
To do this. But I think that you're right. Like this whole workaround, like that's also why I have this breadth of like, and then she did this and this. Cause I was always like, I could go in on my music or I could use all of my gifts to make this shit pop or I could.
Yes.
And so I think there's something there where like, I'm trying, I'm praying, I'm meditating, I'm in the mastermind. Like I'm trying everything to stay focused on it. But all the rejection, I can't lie. Like, I don't know if I feel like my career, I organized it around being a problem solver and doing what people needed, not saying to the world, this is me, this is what I'm worth, this is what I do. When I get like a string of rejections, I almost forget like, yeah, but you just sold 3 albums. Like just because these 15 people said no doesn't mean that the 16th person is going to say no.
So here's one of my homework items for you. I want you to go collect 100 rejections.
Oh my God. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because exposure therapy, right? Like, this is how we build up that resilience. The way that how I got this way is because I applied to all these prestigious, like judicial clerkships and law firms and all kinds of prestigious jobs when I was graduating from law school. And every single day, like you apply, for months, and then there's a season where you start to get all of the answers. Like it's like in April. Like March and April is when you're getting all of these answers. So literally every day I checked my mail, there would be like 3 to 5 rejection letters. And you have to read them because it might be a congratulations, right?
Right.
So you open it up and you read it and it's a rejection. Then you open up the next one and read it and it's a rejection. And like, sometimes it made me cry and I'd just be like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, am I just trash? Like, what the hell? But that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because by the 10th day, the 30th day, I was like, another rejection, right? Like, it's like I could separate it from myself.
Yes.
And not get emotionally involved in somebody else's decision. Yes. And I think challenging yourself, because I wonder how many talented artists or talented people in general are just not going after what they want or what their dream is because they're fearful that somebody's going to say no. Let me just like break it down for you. Someone is definitely going to say no.
Yeah,
like
a lot of people are going to say no.
Every day you're
Hella
collect
people.
No. And that's our goal, is to collect no's. And so, and that 100 rejections advice, I got that from a friend of mine. She was a publicist, right? And that was like her expertise. And she was like, I want to write screenplays. Right. She wanted to write movies. And so she was like, I want to write movies. I want to start, I want to start my career as a screenwriter and write like that. Like, that's what I want to do. And so she just decided, it's not going to be about how many people say yes. All I have to do is show up, right? For me to check the box today and say, I showed up for myself and I showed up for my dream. So every day she would pitch her, like her skills or one of her movies every single day for 30 days. And like, my goal is just to like collect 30 rejections. And she got hired. And then she wound up writing like so many Lifetime movies, all these movies that she's written that are absolutely, they're funny, they're hilarious, they're emotional, they're dramatic, right? And now she has her own like teen vampire series that she's written. She has like a whole fan base. So like, she's like very known in the like vampire novelty like book world. So you know what I'm saying? Like she's carved out her niche, and she did it by just saying, I'm going to pitch myself every single day.
So all these no's are not, because when you had said that, you're like, okay, remember, at least pitch to 100 people who are your ICA. Because that's the other thing. I feel like maybe I've been pitching to the wrong people. A lot of people who I came up with or who are following me on Instagram are my folks who we came up rapping or singing or organizing.
So activate them, right? Like make them your street team. And just say like, yo, assemble a team. Like I would launch this the same way, the way that I launch a book. I would be pitching yourself to book media to talk about this album coming out. I would be reaching out to everyone that every place you've ever done a performance and saying, hey, I'm available. I'm going on tour because, I have this album coming out. Would you like to book me? And then also reaching out to your people who are your super fans and activating them and say, yo, I have an album coming out. You can join my street team. And then you like get them in a community, right? Like you can start a Mighty Networks group or a Facebook group, whatever, right? And start talking to them on a regular basis and telling them like, okay, today, everybody, we're going to post this thing, right? And so like different milestones in your launch plan, they could be sharing about it. And it's like today is recruit a friend day, like recruit a friend to like become a Coco fan, and then every day, like you activate your super fans, like, of course they want to help you win, right? Like it's a privilege to help you win. You know what I'm saying? And then they get to be behind the scenes with you, which is also dope. You know what I'm saying? And so like, if you thought about that and also thought about your network and the different people that you can make asks to in your community to say like, hey, help me get the word out about this, right? All of that can help you sell those 1,000 albums. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm scared as hell. I'm super scared, and like I said, I have a list on my wall and it says like collect 300 rejections. And I'm at like 94 right now.
Okay.
So I'm like, that's the part where I'm like, well, maybe the first 6 were like a fluke, because
stop that. If you ask like basically diminishing and unhelpful questions, you're going to get diminishing and unhelpful answers. Right? So say, where my next 6 coming from? Let me go call them and find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And create a system for this so that like every day you're sending a couple emails, every day you're sending some texts, every day you're showing up on social media and telling people why you're hype about this album, talking about the album every day. Like the thing is like people aren't responding because you're not showing up.
You're right though, because I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, this is why the ones where you sent the little voice message where you're like, oh, hey, so I have this album. So I'm not sure if you really want it, but here's all the dope things that come with it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's a way that it's like, I don't know how to say it, but it's very different than calling someone up or showing up face to face. And I feel like, you kind of like throw the ball like a little bit and then you be like, it didn't work. I'm done. You know? So I feel like that also might be some of it.
Well, you can't quit. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not going to.
So like, I would say, listen, if you want to quit, I will support you in quitting.
I don't want to quit.
After you try to sell, like really try, like really, really go for it.
Yeah.
And hold nothing back.
I want to, I just don't know how.
Okay.
And I'm gonna.
So give me 3 ideas that you have to show up fully. Because I don't believe that you don't know how. I think that's part of the bullshit that we tell ourselves to keep ourselves safe. I don't know how. Lies.
3 ways to really show up fully.
Yeah. What would that look like? Just give me 3 examples of showing up.
Hosting a brunch in Brooklyn once a month with a DJ and like.
Okay. Awesome.
performing one piece off the album that people haven't heard.
Sign me up.
Okay.
Like, that sounds awesome. Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't y'all go to that? I would go. I'm like, wait a minute, you're doing what? And here's what's like, everybody in your squad in the mastermind is going to go, right? All of
That's
the friends,
true.
like everybody's gonna be like, you're doing what? That sounds so fun. Definitely I'm in. Also, why aren't we doing that every week? Why just once a month? Okay.
This is what I came here for.
That's one example. Give me another one.
Probably have to just literally make phone calls and commit to every Zoom meeting that I'm on, mentioning it, but
Yes.
asking for the sale.
Asking for the sale.
Because I think I've gotten at least to the point where now I'm like, yo, I'm doing this dope ass shit and I'm so excited about it.
Yes.
But then it's like, then I'll wait till afterwards and send the text like,
Nah.
and if you want it,
Let
here's
yourself off the
the
hook like that.
I know.
Do you know how many entrepreneurs do that? They get on a sales call, have a great conversation, and I'm like, did they buy? No. Okay, what did they say when you offered them? Well, I didn't. Okay, well, how are you gonna get somebody to buy something if you don't offer it?
Rachel, no.
Okay, wait. So that
Yes.
one, DJ brunch with a performance, love it.
Thank
2,
you.
make phone calls, right, to your connections. What's the third one?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I should do a pre-album release tour, but I don't know how. Okay, stop.
But can you figure it out?
Okay, rewind. I didn't say that. Yeah, no, I can. Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can get paid for it, right? Like
That's
reach out to
true.
these clubs that like to have you come perform or these different venues.
I could even do like just one sneak preview song, and maybe not like a full-fledged concert. Because that's a lot to put together a full-fledged concert.
Yeah. So, right. So but for example, the DJ brunch with a small set by you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's manageable. That's doable. You probably know enough DJs that would do it for you as a
podcasts.
favor.
I could get on podcasts.
Right. You could do. So I say this to say, now you got 4 specific things, right? Like, so the point is you do know,
Yeah.
and it's just about putting together your plan.
That's true.
So, the other piece of advice I want to give you too is like, think about who can buy in bulk, right? Like who are your bulk buyers, right? For example, like I have a book coming out. It's for young people, right? And so I'm going to reach out to high schools and be like, yo, do you want to buy 100 for your high school?
Yes.
Like there's high schools that teach financial literacy classes,
Yes.
and I'm gonna be like, y'all need this book. Do you want to buy 100 for your students or 300? Right?
Yes.
So I could move a lot of units at one
Yeah.
time and also talk to the individuals and whatever, So what I want you to do as your homework is 1, keep making those calls or connections or sending those audio messages every day.
Yeah.
Collect 100 rejections, 100 more from today.
I'm like, I got it. Okay. All right.
And they have to be related to the album and the album package. Okay. And then put together your plan, like put together your game plan. So just work backwards. Like when you're launching a book, my book comes out May 6th. So I have a 60-day launch plan. That
Yeah.
I'm just like, every week I have things to execute as we lead up to launch day. Right. And so think of it the same way. Maybe it's 90 days or maybe it's 6 months. Doesn't matter. Just like lead up to the day that you're going to drop the album and just have all these activities that you're doing, the street team, the calls that you're making, these live performances that you're doing, the DJ brunch that you're doing, all of these things to make noise. You know what I'm saying? And to also share like a message around like, why is this urgent, right? That this album exists today. Why is it urgent that people buy this, that people listen to this? Like it's the soundtrack to our resistance, right? To what we're dealing with right now with this administration. So like, get that out there, get your messaging together, put together your plan. And you luckily you're in the mastermind. So I can review it and give you feedback.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. Yes. But okay, so here's the other thing though. It's supposed to drop on the 29th, but again, to get into the studio and work with the folks I want to work with,
Yes.
it's going to be about $45K when we talk about production,
Yes.
mixing,
Okay,
and
great. So let's
recording.
go sell at least 45 of these.
She like,
I'm like, last I checked, you got live performance you could get paid for. The the album package,
Yeah.
the DJ brunch, that's easy. People will pay a
Do I
ticket for that.
charge?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Of course you charge. That is just, we are accustomed to paying for a DJ brunch.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
Like that's
true.
people will happily pay for that, and now they're paying it to support you. And
How
not some
much?
restaurant.
How much do I charge?
How much are your costs, and how much do you need to earn? Right? Like those numbers.
Yeah.
But the point is, put the plan together for the thing that you want, right? Like chase that with all your heart. And also too, just know like you're taking a risk. Well, there's no guarantee that it's going to work
Yeah.
out. But like, you're probably going to have a whole hell of a lot of fun while you do.
Yeah.
And then you'll really find out, like, let me just see.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
sometimes I do shit to just be like, my goal is to sell 25,000 books. Let me just see if I could do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that sounds daunting and terrifying. And I'm like, I can't do that. And then it's like, no, let's just try and see what happens. And if we fail, at least we gave it a shot and had a good time while we did it.
Yes.
And made some money while we did it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Life is for living, man.
That's true.
Right now, today. That's all we have.
Yes.
So fucking go for it.
Okay.
Okay, you can do it?
Yes.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a wrap, y'all. Okay. And I'm going to put a link in the show notes. Coco, tell people where they can find you and where they can opt in to get that first song from your album. Like, tell the people. Speak to the camera.
So go to CocoPeila.com. So that's CocoPeila.com. It's all there. Everything.
And what do you want them to do?
I want you to pre-order the album. I want you to sign up for the newsletter, and you will actually get a free private listening link to the first single, Perfect Love, which is hella dope. And that's it.
You're welcome.
Yes. So welcome. Thank you.
You're so
Want to
welcome.
make more money? You are in the right place. Welcome to the Hello 7 podcast. That's 7 as in 7 figures. I'm your host, Rachel Rogers.